evening all, welcome to Fury. This is a take on tanks. Well, welcome to Total Dust. It's been so long since I've done one of these and people have been a little bit kind of vocal on the matter. I'll be honest with you, Dust is brilliant, isn't it? It's very good, isn't it? It's just such a fun little game. And then it'll kind of stomp you in the face. And then it will kind of literally wipe its bottom on you while you're kind of palpitating on the floor, having had your bollocks smashed in by the butt of an assault rifle. I kind of use this flowery language to kind of say this game is brilliant, but God almighty, it's annoying if you're in a bad group. Not a bad group. There is so many veterans of this game still playing, and they're playing relatively often. And they're pretty much very good at the game. So this is kind of the challenge we have with the game at the moment is. It's just becoming very difficult to get a balanced match. Think back, fellow Merc, to the time, or rather the last time that you had a battle that was relatively equal. Tricky, isn't it? It's quite a while ago, I bet. We do get them. I mean, this is the funny thing about it, is sometimes you do get it, but it's odd. When I kind of think back on the games that I've played recently on this game, it's either a stomp one way or the other entirely, and it's surprising that when you kind of think to yourself, why is that? What is it within the game that's causing these issues? I think it's still the issue that matchmaking doesn't work. I think that is still primarily the problem. It's either not working because the code just isn't right, or it's either not working because there's not enough to make the code work. I suspect probably maybe the latter. While it still says there's 2,500 odd people playing this game, I think the vast majority of them aren't actually fighting. When you spread that number across all the different game modes and PC and FW and downtime and all that, I think, to be honest, there's just a huge kind of spread of people, and there could quite honestly be, for example, in Ambush, there could only be 3 or 4 concurrent matches happening at the same time. It feels like, if I'm honest, it feels like that. I don't know, post in the comments, tell me what you think. It is good to be playing this game again. I know lately I've played a lot of flim-flam. Flim-flam is a new word I'm inventing. It's basically games that just kind of flim-flam about with no direct kind of ability to teabag anyone, for example. So yeah, that seems to be kind of the games I've been playing. And I tell you what, just logging in and playing Dust has been beautiful. And I'll tell you why, because there's actually an interesting kind of bit of news for you. I now play with controller, and boy, is it fun. I would even say, for all these years I've been playing with mouse and keyboard, I've kind of always shied away from guns that have a rate of fire kind of thing about them. I'm always going for high damage, single shot alpha guns, and they certainly seem to work. But I would just say that the by far the most enjoyable part of playing with controller is that you can use pretty much anything. So you can still use plasma cannon, etc. But I've been using combat rifle, shotgun. My God, the shotgun's good with aim assist, isn't it? My God, it's good. I mean, I need to say it one more time. My God, the shotgun's good with the controller. Just running into a kind of, running into somebody and just hip firing that mofo, you're gonna kill him more than likely he's gonna kill you. So yeah, I'm liking it. And the only reason I'm using controller is I rejigged my office a little bit because for reasons. And I've got to admit, it's quite weird playing with controller to begin with, but I was amazed how fun it was, and it is really worth giving it a go. I don't know how many of you do actually use mouse and keyboard, but throw it away. I think controller is the future. I would even say to CCP, maybe get rid of mouse and keyboard even as an option. Just saying, I mean, this is the thing. If you're going to go console game, you might as well just make it all console. I know Destiny. I know I know Dust, Legion, whatever on PC is obviously going to be mouse and keyboard, which I don't know. I'm not sure if that'll work actually. I find PC gaming with mouse and keyboard a bit of an anomaly. It really comes down to if you've got a good frame rate, you're going to win. And this was kind of the spark in my craw that all of a sudden, was like the light bulb going on above my nonce, my bogging, whatever you want to call it, and my nonce, my bonds. And it was just due to the fact that for so long in Chromosome, I had a better time because the Chromosome frame rates were faster. So when in Uprising happened, the frame rates dropped. Obviously, this is a higher graphical texture pack. It's a higher resolution, I think, as well. And that meant that the speed, the FPS reduced. Now, I know this is obvious, but it kind of only recently clicked in my brain because it takes that sort of time to do that. And I realised actually the frames per second thing has been quite a factor. Now, let me explain why it kind of occurred to me, because I got a new graphics card for my PC. And this is it's quite a good graphics card. It's not the best, but, you know, come on, it was cheap. And this thing is really good. And what it gives me is about 60 frames per second playing anything. And I noticed that my ability to shoot dudes in PC shooters has gone through the roof, because you have such smooth frame rates that it just makes it so much easier. So I would present to you that the biggest thing Legion will bring to you is, as long as you've got the graphics card, you're going to have a good time. And I think if you don't have the graphics card to run Legion at a good frame rate, you're going to just generally have the same problems that we have in Uprising, which is it's kind of old technology, it's a little bit juddery, it's a little bit jittery, it doesn't kind of work. So, I mean, that's a revelation to me. I know it's probably not to you, but to me, with my small brain, I think that kind of was the light bulb going on, which was, you know, I've always wondered why I could do stuff in Chromosome that I can't do in this. Mouse and keyboard shotgunning in Chromosome was ridiculously good and fun. It wasn't easy, but, you know, you felt that you could track a target with that little circle reticule easy. And I think because that has gone, the frame rate dropped. It's just less frames per second, so therefore it's not as easy to aim when there's a lot going on the screen. And usually when there's a lot going on, it's somebody shooting at you, it's loading all the models of the character that you're about to try and blow their fucking head off, and it's also loading all of the kind of effects of their gun trying to shoot you, your gun trying to shoot them. There's a lot going on when the firefight happens. And I think Uprising and the FPS has generally just caused enough of an issue for it to slow down generally. Not massively. I mean, we're talking imperceptible kind of drops of frames per second, but to any kind of veteran FPS player, not saying I am, but I've played a lot in my time, I noticed it, and I always thought to myself, why am I so crap now when it comes to aiming with the mouse and keyboard? Then certain optimizations came along that I think actually unlocked a lot of these issues. Namely, the assault rifle became quite potent, and I remember a period where I used the assault rifle quite well for some time, and it was because, again, it did feel that the FPS was increased somehow. I don't know how. So anyway, there you go, that's my thesis, and I think certainly switching over to controller has been a revelation to me. This is all kind of in summary because of that. Because controller is fun, it's easy to control once you get used to it. It is muscle memory, and I think really once you get used to it, I would even say it's better than mouse and keyboard by a long way. Yeah, people want to strafe, yeah, I get that, but you're not really going to strafe much more with a mouse and keyboard than you are with a controller. And I can say that as a real user of mouse and keyboard for the entire time I've been playing this game. So in summary, I would honestly recommend switching to controller. So there we go. What else is going on in Dust? Well, to be honest, I mean, the rewards are not particularly floating my boat. I didn't play much over Christmas, just for the very, very boring reason that I was just knackered, couldn't be bothered, had loads of things going on. I got caught up with other games and many other excuses that we'll go into. But it is fun to be back. The new year is here. Finally doing videos again for Dust. It's taken a while. And I think really I'm quite keen to get back into it. I would admit the problem we have slightly, which is confounded. Is it confounded or compounded? I forget. But anyway, the additional issue is we generally don't have the gang to run with anymore. So I find it's generally Stefan and I kind of running the gang on our own, which means we generally get stomped by everything. As you can see, I mean, these were the grand days of Delboy playing. He's obviously playing other games now as well. Judge is playing other games. We just generally, the gang has kind of split up, and unlike the Blues Brothers, we're not going to be able to get the band back together, I think, easily. When Judge is loving Destiny, he's doing some good stuff on it. He seems to enjoy it. Del is obviously looking forward to Halo, so there's only really Steph and I playing. So I guess in a summary, we're kind of interested if there's another group out there that wants to to team up. If you kind of regularly find you have room for two, then just let us know, because quite frankly this game sucks without a gang of people to play with. You don't have to be brilliant. We would obviously prefer if you are the best of players in the game, bar none. I'm kidding, of course, but it would be good to have people who are relatively active and enjoying the game. We are looking towards the future of PC and raiding. That is going to become part of the game, and I think we're now starting to prep for that. So anybody who's in the Unholy Legion, don't worry, we'll move you active people across with us. But I think at the moment it's all up for grabs and the future is unclear. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time. That was a bit of a scary end, wasn't it?